Honestly, people don't think about us the way we think people think about us.
Yeah.
They think more about themselves.
A good resume doesn't equal a good financial statement.
True.
Ooh, that's a bar, bro.
That is a bar. Yeah.
You're going to get taken advantage of if you don't do the work. When people lead with their talent, it's like, bro, that's whack.
Yeah.
You're not dope,
Right.
Isaiah, because you can play the guitar. God gave you that.
Right. True.
What did you do with that talent, Isaiah? What did you build from that? That's what makes you dope.
Let's say we have someone that is starting new, right? Creating a business. What do you think their first step should be?
Yeah, ready to get this going, man.
Let's get it.
Talk.
Yeah, man. What's going on? Welcome to the Creative Dan Pod. So today I have a good friend of mine. Is been in the music space, probably one of the best guitarists that I know personally. And we've I met you in college. We did a lot. I don't even know how we got to where we are now, but we've done a lot in different spaces. Music, camps, church. You know, now we're working together on the business side of things. So you've been in the real estate side of things as well as management. So today, without any further ado, this is my good friend, Isaiah, Mr. Iguru Brand Grissum.
Like it, man. Like that introduction. That was dope.
Yeah, bro. How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Good.
A little tired, but ready to get this going. This has been a long time coming. I'm excited for you.
Yes, sir.
All you got going on.
Thank you, bro.
Excited about that transition.
Yes, sir.
Like you were talking about, obviously from the creative side to moving into the background.
Yeah.
Where all the magic happens and is created. So
Yes.
yeah, ready to get this going, man.
Let's get
Let's
it
talk.
on. Yeah, man. Like looking back, I think I met you in 20, I wouldn't say 2012, 2013, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah.
I think I was a senior at ASU.
ASU, yeah.
And you was, what were you, a
I don't
junior?
know. I think, it was my junior year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then crazy to see just how everything has changed, evolved since then. That was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And we've done some stuff in the camp space and the youth space.
It's weird. We've actually done more stuff outside of music.
Yeah. Yeah. This is true.
That's wild.
Yeah. I don't remember. Did I ever play?
We may have played together maybe once or twice.
Yeah. I can't think of it. I know I was a drummer, always on guitar, crazy, smashing it, always.
Smashing it.
Always, bro.
That's funny.
Always.
It's actually weird now when I hear people say like, "Oh, he's a good guitarist."
Yeah.
Because not that I don't play, because I'm always playing still, but I feel like so much of my focus is in so many different areas.
Gotcha.
That even sometimes when I pick up the guitar to play, like, I mean, I do it on a weekly basis, obviously, but sometimes I feel like, like I don't play it nowhere near as much as I used to.
Right. And that's true because I went through the same transition, obviously, as in the creative, just different creative spaces that I've been in as a musician as well. Yeah. I haven't touched the drums in like 4 years.
I believe it. I believe it. How can you?
Yeah.
Like how? Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there, teaching dance, and now I think it's been like two years since I've really done anything in the dance world.
It's funny you mentioned that. There's this musician, one of my favorites. His name is Pat Metheny, and he was doing a podcast with Rick Beato. Rick Beato is a legendary producer, musician on YouTube. And Rick Beato's asking him how he specifically plays one of his songs. And he's like, I've played this song so many times, like, I don't even know how I play it. Yeah. So he's like, give me the guitar and I can show you how I play it. But he's basically saying, I don't have time to dissect how I play and what I do.
That's true.
It just, you get to a point, not saying that I'm at Pat Metheny's level or anything like that. One day I will be. I promise you that.
Definitely.
But you just get to a point where you continue to grow and you continue to create and you continue to do things and evolve, and you have to learn how to manage your time.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
We're already there. So that is one of the things that you do is helping people out to understand what their time, having their time back, basically.
Yes.
So we've talked a little bit about what you do in the creative space. Now let's kind of dive into that management of time management, because even for me in my own life, going from music to dance to now video photography and what I do with brand and stuff like that. Just understanding the fact that you're not gonna do every single thing at every level that you want to all of the time.
Yeah.
So how do you manage that? Like just time?
Well, I think the first thing is getting therapy and learn how to be patient.
True.
Learning, and I'm not saying, once again, this is a big disclaimer. I don't want to profess that I am at the point that I want to be at anything that I'm saying.
Right.
But first, for me, it was a big barrier of learning to be patient and think long term. Setting the long term goal for each different area that you have a vision for.
Gotcha.
And then working backwards. So if I have a goal to be this level of musician or this level of businessman or this level of entrepreneur, creative, I have to work backwards from that and then pace myself. And then once you develop that plan, you get a little less antsy if you know what you're working towards.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that works also in the business space, like as far as your business plan, right? That's some of the things that you do with people that are like trying to create a business, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's more or less me sitting down with the creative entrepreneur, small business owners as well, big business, doesn't matter the level, and kind of dissecting what it is that they're trying to achieve and developing a plan for them to get to that next level or to maneuver around the obstacle that they're currently in front of.
Gotcha.
For a lot of creatives and especially independent contractors and musicians and so forth and so on, the big barrier for them is starting an LLC. And I mean, I mean, we can say, oh, it's so simple. All you have to do is do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
But that is a wealth of studying, a wealth of information, knowledge, financial acumen, a lot of barriers that you've had to push through to get to that level of saying, oh, it's easy to start an LLC.
Right. Why do you think people are hesitant?
Education. Education. I think a big part of it, especially in the United States, is financial education. If you go to a real CPA once or twice, and you're really reporting your income,
right?
I think you'll understand how much money you're losing.
True.
By not forming a limited liability company and so forth and so on, just for starters. And that's kind of where my heart is for people at the first stage of it. It's like, you don't know how much you're shooting yourself in the foot by not.
Right. From a tax perspective.
From a tax perspective, from a business perspective, from an influence perspective, we're not as unseen as we might think that we are.
That's true. But like in this digital world where everything we do has a receipt, you know what I mean? Once you post it up, you might not, even posting your stories up, you might not see it after 24 hours, but it's there.
It's in the cloud.
It's there.
It's in the cloud. It's documented. And the movers and shakers of the world, they always have their eyes out for what's up and coming, what's new, what's next. And for independent contractors, entrepreneurs, and creatives, you're either going to be brought into a formed system unknowingly,
right,
for the most part,
right,
or you're going to get to the point where you form a system and then you're able to partner with other existing systems. So if you're in the position of the first, I don't care how talented you are. I don't care how much knowledge you think you may have. I don't care how fast you can do a drum roll or how many licks you can play on the guitar or how nice your paintings are or how nice you can pop and lock.
Yeah.
You're going to get taken advantage of if you don't do the work.
It's true.
If you don't do that work.
True. Do you think people take advantage of people like knowingly or just as, oh, they don't know, so I'm just gonna do this?
It's no entity's job to show you.
Right.
Like, it's nice of entities if they have resources in that training, aspect to steward and bring others along and grow them. That is ideal. That's a perfect world scenario. And there's a lot of entities that do have that set up.
Right.
And that's very kind of them.
Right. That's true. This plays into the little thing. What's it called? Lil Jack and Big Time Entertainment.
Big Time Entertainment. Yeah, that little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It plays into that because no one has to.
Right.
No one has to drag you along or hold your hand. So either you're going to take that responsibility or you're going to sweep things under the rug, and it may go good for you. You may get a tour with Beyonce here or there.
Yeah.
You may get a call from this person or that person from time to time and have a little bit of a resume and stuff like that. But I don't care how good your resume is. That's still a good resume doesn't equal a good financial statement.
True.
Ooh, that's a bar, bro.
That is a bar.
That is a bar.
Yes.
A good resume does not equal a good financial statement.
Because there's a lot of people out there with good resumes, but are struggling.
Yes.
Because they didn't set up the right structure. So let's say we have someone that is starting new, right? Creating a business.
Yeah.
What do you think their first step should be, and how should they go to the next thing?
When you say starting a business, I'm assuming that they already have a business plan.
Right.
So if you're starting a business, I would say foundation is most important. And once again, I'm not coming from the perspective of like this business group. You know what I mean? I'm not on Shark Tank or anything like that. I'm literally an advocate for independent contractors, small businesses, creatives, and I'm building slowly. This is my story.
Yeah.
But the first thing I would kind of encourage them to do is to grow an affinity, and what I mean by affinity is grow a love for taking it slow and building your foundation correctly.
That's true. Like thinking about it now with the business plan bit, I didn't have a business plan. And I wish I had a pod like this that told me that. You know what I mean? This is 2016. I didn't even have a camera, bro.
But to interject on that, because you're taking it slow and because you're doing it correctly, you found a niche.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
For sure.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. But yeah, like I had no idea what a business plan meant. I was just, and that's I feel like that's a lot of creatives. Is like they have this talent, this God-given gift that they've been given, and a lot of them focus on that and they build that. Eventually, they say, "Oh, maybe I could make money with this." So now we do the first thing, we make a little bit of money, and then that's how it just spirals. Keep making money, but not building anything sustainable.
Yes.
Right. And I feel like that's where a lot of people get, stuck. It's that. But business plan after that.
Yes, because a business plan is going to force you to dissect every little part of what you feel like your vision is or your plan is. And once you start taking away and adding and putting things together, it's going to help you see better what God has put within you.
Definitely. Definitely.
And there's actual resources, there's websites that you can, there's tools, vehicles that you can use, apps to help you with business plans and, you know, things of that nature, and kind of walk you along the path. Of course, it's not free.
Yeah.
But it's tax deductible.
Yeah.
If you have an actual business.
Right. Right. Yes. So after that, business plan.
After business plan, I would say start creating a centralized access point for the community. Something that you have sole control over, whether it's a website, whether it's brick and mortar. Just, you know, set up some infrastructure to where people can access your product, access you, and get a glimpse of what your brand represents.
Gotcha.
So,
Let's stay there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Accessibility. You know, there's some people like Kendrick Lamar or Beyonce that when they're coming up with a song or when they're doing anything, you don't really hear from them for a while until that album drops. And then all of a sudden, everyone sees it, right? Versus, you know, the people that are growing on Instagram, on social media slowly, where they have to be accessible, you know. Is there a right or wrong?
or
Or
like
is
a
there
middle ground?
Yeah.
I think social media has made things a lot better, but also a lot more difficult. And you have to be studious and be able to dissect and understand that. Kendrick Lamar and Beyonce, those are, well,
Big time
Beyonce
names.
is her brand started basically when she came out of the womb. So
Exactly.
it started with her parents,
Right.
her father. And so that's at least a 50-year brand.
Right. Right. And a lot of new people try to compare that.
And you know, just starting your, you know, brand or trying to start your brand and your company, you're looking at the Taylor Swifts of the world, the Beyoncés of the world, the Kendrick Lamars of the world, the Jay-Z's of the world, and you're trying to mirror that.
Right.
It's almost laughable.
Yeah.
It's laughable in the sense of you thinking that is the goal for you, when even the Beyoncés of the world, you know Chloe Bailey and they're not looking for other 50-year brands,
Right.
or the movers and shakers of the world. They're not looking for even ourselves with our small businesses and what we're creating. You have an eye for someone that is dedicated and someone that is going to get to a certain point regardless if you help them or not.
True.
You have an eye for that already.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And this is before the $1 million profit business, you know, a year and stuff like that. So I think we get lost a lot of times with looking outwardly. Yeah. And looking outwardly.
I think
that's
so.
a big issue.
I think the digital space and social media has added onto that for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because now you see everyone's highlight and you think that's their everyday life.
You think that's normal life.
Yeah, and it's not. Like before this pod, I was just feeding my daughter. You know what I mean? And people would think, oh, you're probably just waking up straight into editing. No, it's not. Right now, with 2 daughters, it's actually harder to find time to edit. You know, so I have to find time regardless. But
you have to do it.
Yeah. So
it's a part of it.
Yeah.
Also that, I mean, I just came. I'm a business owner. I have a full-time job.
Right.
I have a part-time job.
Right.
I have family. I just came from my part-time job.
Yeah.
To do a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, it's also that idea of 9 to 5. 40 hours a week.
Right.
And I'm not saying, oh, get on your grind and, 40 to 60 hours a week at least. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not doing all that. I'm coming after that idea, that barrier that I had in my mind for a long time.
Gotcha.
Of it's time for me to rest, or I get to rest. Mm. Well, not necessarily if you're not accomplishing what you need to accomplish. Mm-hmm. You can quiet that voice in your mind, but you know what you're supposed to accomplish and what you're not supposed to accomplish.
It's still there.
It's always there.
I find it hard for me to sit down and not do anything, because that voice is constantly there. Even if I'm sitting down, I feel like lately, and my wife brought this up the other day, like I'm just consuming a lot, when it comes to like podcasts and watching videos and, just learning a lot of things. And so it's hard for me to like just sit down and not do anything. Yeah. Yeah.
If you're kind of in tune with what's going on inside of you and your gifting and your vision, your calling, it's going to be very difficult to just shut it off at a certain time. Yeah.
But there are times you have to, you know what I mean?
Which is another skill set.
Yeah.
And you have to learn that after you start going too hard. And I'm in the early stages of trying to figure that out. I have no clue what I'm doing with the whole rest aspect of my life.
For sure.
I need to figure it out before I start the family.
Yeah. Nah, you will. You will. So we've talked about building, a business plan, and then building a centralized place where people can find you. What would you say the third step should be?
Getting over being shy and consistently showing face.
Yeah.
It's never fun putting the sign up. It's never fun saying, hey, I do this.
Bro.
But it's necessary, man.
Bro.
I know we both fight with that.
Yes. Even sitting here right now, it's a push for me because I am an introvert at heart.
Yeah.
But the thing, I do enjoy having conversations with people,
Yeah.
But I'm almost like what would I call it? Like a extroverted introvert.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm fine being by myself, sitting down, doing my thing, whatever. I'm cool with it. But then if there's someone that wants to have a conversation, cool. Let's have a conversation as well. I'm good with that. But it was this year, even though I've been in business since 2016, this was the year I actually pushed myself to be out, in the interwebs, for people to actually see me. Yeah. And obviously it's a journey. And I made that decision beginning of the year. Like, okay, let's do this.
Isn't it weird seeing your face like on the internet? And
I hate. You know what got me used to it is dancing and watching my dance videos over and over. So I got over my awkward faces I was making and the movements that I thought were not the right movement, even though they were right. But seeing it back, it's like,
So you don't when you see one of like the sponsored pages of your
I skip it. I skip it, bro.
I can't. I can't stand it, bro. I cannot stand it.
Yeah,
it's cringy. Yeah, but that I would say that is something that you have to get over.
Yeah,
and I think that comes with also what we're talking about, social media and all this stuff like that. Sometimes I think if I'm not at this level, then I shouldn't do anything at all, and that keeps us bound.
Right. I had to fight that. Starting this pod, I'm like, who do I think I am?
Exactly. Exactly.
But I think I did it because just pure obedience, to what I feel God is telling me to do, regardless of whatever it is that I actually want to do. Like, I need to do the thing that I was called to do.
It was going to eat you up until you did it, too.
Yes. It would have. Because this has been a year in planning in my head, this podcast. Yeah. And it has changed 2 times as far as, like, the direction, And when I sat on this direction, I was like, all right, this is the move, you know. So
You know what else happens with that?
Huh?
Is like when you're supposed to do something, I don't know. I feel like God starts showing you all the people doing it wrong, and you looking at it like,
yeah.
And that's just my judgmental self coming out. I feel like if you would have started your podcast earlier, we wouldn't have all these red pill issues on the internet.
I think it'll still be there.
Because you stifled your gift.
All right.
I was talking with my 11-year-old nephew last night, and of course he was joking, but he was talking red pill talk. And I was like, dude, where did you get this stuff from?
Yeah.
He says, on the internet, it's everywhere.
Oh man,
it's everywhere, Uncle Isaiah. And I'm like, freaking Akin didn't start his podcast.
Here we are, though.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we can save some people after this.
Dude.
Oh man. Yeah. But yeah, so putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
You know, although it is uncomfortable for people, I think we have to push past whatever uncomfortability that we have, push past the fear, you know, being afraid of what people think about us. Honestly, people don't think about us the way we think people think about us.
Yeah.
They think more about themselves, you know what I mean? And so pushing past that barrier and actually doing what it is that you've been called to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is much easier said than done, of course, but I think it's obviously important.
Definitely. So that's number 3. Is there a 4th step?
So the first step was business plan. Second step was centralized location. Third step, putting yourself out there. 4th step, continue just be consistent in every area and really dissecting and learning every aspect of what it's going to take for you to be successful in your business and in your calling for your vision. You have to be, I believe, you have to be willing to do everything.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because not being consistent, especially in this, again, I keep coming back to the digital world because that's where I'm at, is if we are not out there, you become irrelevant sometimes. Yeah. And I was watching a video of, you know, Jay Holiday. You know, this was... I was in high school when it came up with that song, you know, Put You to Bed and all that. This is 2008 or something. I watched a video of him last night. I'm like, is this Jay Holiday or is this someone else? You know what I mean? Because it hasn't been around. It hasn't really done much in the music space, at least that I know of. And then now I see this video come up and reading the comments was like the funniest thing ever.
It happens all the time, though.
Yeah.
And
he could sing, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talent is there. But the consistency of, you know, showing up was not there.
But we don't pay anything for our talent.
Yeah.
God gave us our talent, man.
Yeah.
And that's one of my hugest passions is like, I try to check myself with this. When people lead with their talent, it's like, bro, that's whack.
Yeah.
You're not dope, Isaiah, because you can play the guitar. God gave you that.
Right. True.
What did you do with that talent, Isaiah? What did you build from that? That's what makes you dope. Like, God is dope for giving you the talent.
Yeah.
You become a dope son and daughter when you start building on top of that talent.
That's a good point.
Or you will become irrelevant.
Yeah.
But that was because you were, what is in Matthew 25, that wicked servant who hid the talent.
Put it on the ground.
Didn't do anything with it. Because he had the bright idea of thinking for God. Yeah. He had the bright idea of making a financial decision for God.
Right. Right. That's funny.
You're going to conserve your talent. You're going to guard it.
Yeah.
I think he was able to guard it before he gave it to you.
Right. That's true.
Go multiply it, make it something better.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, I've always said is, regardless of what we use our talent for, you know, whether we use it for God or not, God was still the talent giver.
Yeah.
And it still gives people talent regardless of if they use it.
He's
you know,
gonna
to
get the
glorify
glory
him.
regardless.
Right. It comes back to him. Yeah. So yeah. All right. So we've covered the 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And those are not easy things to do. Right.
No.
I've met even some photographers that I know, killing it, dope space, you know, they have their own look, but still no LLC.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like what are you doing? You know, we have to, as creatives, we have to understand the business side of things, you know. So let's talk about your brand.
Yeah.
Iguru Brand.
Yes.
I remembered, so we actually launched beginning of this year, right?
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah.
But this man texted me at the end of 2020, you know, saying, hey, I have an idea. In my head, I'm like, I bet we're going to do this. It's going to launch in like 5 months. This was a year and a half, almost 2 years in the making. Yeah. When you brought me in, I know you were probably even planning before then. So take us through that journey.
The journey of me reaching out to you, or the journey of
Iguru Brand.
Okay.
Because I know it's longer than.
Yeah. Well, Iguru Brand, it started when I graduated. It was about sophomore year of college. I went to Arizona State University. Shout out.
Sun Devils.
Sun Devils.
I should probably change that name. That's a different topic.
And I wanted to be a psychiatrist because obviously I love the mind.
I feel like that's why I would gel. Do you know I have my degree in psychology? I don't know if you know that.
I knew we were in the same department because you went to the same campus. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I did not know specifically that it was psychology.
Yeah.
But it makes sense now.
Yes.
You sly fox. So about halfway through, I was like, I'm a musician. But I'm also a really logical person. And I was never okay with being broke.
Yes.
That just never sat well in my spirit. And I was like, I'm not going to go into a profession where I can't make upwards of, 6 figures. No way, point blank, period. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a psychiatrist, and I'm gonna have this music stuff on the side because I got this gift, So, we'll do this on the side. I'm halfway through college. It's my sophomore year. And I'm like literally spending more time with music than I'm doing on my school. And I excelled. And I'm spending more time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I can't live without being able to do this and create and push the envelope. So I was like, how do I make this work? Because I can't be broke.
For sure.
I can't do that.
For sure.
I'm sorry. So I was like, I'm going to finish my undergrad. My degree is in social and behavioral sciences, anthropology, psychology, and psychology. So I finished my degree, all that good stuff. And I was like, I'm going to work in the space, and I'm also going to utilize my academic training to see how I can, from a sociological standpoint, push the envelope in the creative space.
Wow. How did you come up with that? Because people will see psychology, sociology, and then creativity on 2 different spectrums.
Yeah.
How did you figure out that you could actually collide those 2 together?
Paying attention in my classes. No, literally, the studies, everything, our societies are sociologically engineered.
Yes.
Our business spaces are sociologically engineered. You have civil scientists. Like, nothing just happens out of nowhere.
True.
And studying the creative space, I think we have a lot of faces that we may believe are creating the spaces, but they're not. And I'm going to unpack that. When you talk to the average musician, they may bring up the names, Jay-Z,
Right.
you know, the Adam Blackstones of the world. And these are great individuals. Or some orchestrator or musician or, you know, stage face.
Gotcha.
When these are not the ones that are creating the environment.
I see.
They found a niche
Right.
within a infrastructure that was created by a social scientist.
Wow.
So I said, why not be, if I have this gift and God has already a plan for me in terms of stages or whatever. Okay, yada, yada, whoop-de-whoop. I don't have to work on that.
Right. That's a different way of thinking, man. Not a lot of us think that way. That's good.
And I'm not saying
That's
I
good.
don't work on perfecting my musicianship.
Right.
I work on perfecting my musicianship in context with the vision that I want to create in the space.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. So, sociology, psychology. Now we're what? Senior year?
Yeah.
Graduated?
Senior year, graduated, got out, started working in social work, doing musician work, guitar stuff around town, taking shows, you know, doing various things of that nature. Did that for a few years. Started making some decent money for a young man, you know. I think it was probably about 3 or 4 years of making decent money.
Gotcha.
Doing taxes myself.
Right.
So I get to a point where I'm making okay money, and I think this was more so like a naive sense. But I also wanted to make sure all my stuff was good. You know, I wanted to make sure that IRS was never going to come after me. So I started going to CPA.
Nice.
First time I went to a CPA, man. Do you know that feeling when you're in trouble?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like you see someone's name pop up and you're like, what did I do?
Yes.
Yes.
I hadn't felt like that since I got reprimanded by my parents. Like, I felt this small in the best way.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the best lessons ever.
Do you think, as creatives, that's why some of us don't push that envelope? Because when we have a gift, right, and we're really good at that gift, we're on top of the world. But then when we try to do something that we don't really understand and we feel small, you know, do you think that's why some of us shy away from actually understanding that side of things?
Absolutely. And that's kind of why I started off the conversation with therapy, because a lot of times our gifts are our drug, and we hold on to that and we get high off of it. We get high off of it and we become really dependent on it, and nothing else matters until we're 45 and almost homeless, and then the devil came after us.
Wow.
Nah, I don't think the devil did that, bro.
Yeah. You just didn't plan.
You continue to sweep things under the rug because, Isaiah, you liked the feeling of somebody taking a picture of you while you're on stage with whatever artist.
Yeah.
And you like those likes that you were getting on Instagram. And you like the attention that you got from it. And no one could tell you that you were anything less because somebody's always giving you a call to utilize your gift, something that you didn't work for.
That's true. Wow. Okay.
So, got my first tax spanking when I was around 25.
Okay.
And it took me a few years. It took me a few years to recover, and that was a extremely humbling experience. And then I started reaching out to other well-known musicians and entrepreneurs and business people about their tax experiences and about their business acumen and what they have going on. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's Armageddon out here. Like, we really need to get our act together.
Right.
There's no way, and I'm not just talking about taxes. I'm talking about organizing yourself and being something legitimate. There's no way that there shouldn't be pop-ups of resources in every city. Like, you shouldn't have to go to Berkeley or Musicians Institute in LA to get some education. You know what I mean?
True.
And I'm not just talking about musicians. I'm talking about small business owners, creatives.
Yeah.
There needs to be actual resources that are readily available that will work with all levels. So this was when I was around 25 and started trying to formulate, how does this look?
Yeah.
How do I work this out? How do I bring this to life? While continuing to work, while continuing to manage, little properties and stuff like that, while continuing to be a resource to my family, while continuing to make sure I'm moving forward in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then once I developed my actual plan for launching it and bringing it to life, then I reached out to you because you have that eye and you have this uncanny gift of being able to hear something and wake it up. That's your thing.
I didn't know that was my thing for the longest time. Like, I kept trying to find it out, but it's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also funny how the people on the outside see a clearer picture of your gift than you do.
True. It's true.
In a lot of cases.
Yeah. That's why it's good to ask people.
Absolutely.
Like, what do you think? And that's what I've had to learn is, like, trusting a group of people that know you and that see you, and asking them, rather than thinking to yourself, this is what I'm going to do. It's like, no, what are you actually good at? And push that. So, yeah.
It's also it also helps if those individuals that are around you are also excellent at what they do.
Totally. Yes. Yeah. And that's why I value you, because, the meeting that we had in 2020, I feel like that was like a real awakening for me. It's like, okay, if this thing is not launching until, was it 2020 or was it 21? I can't remember.
I lost track.
Yeah.
It may have been at the end of 20.
End of 20.
Yeah.
If this isn't launching for like another couple of years, but we're having this meeting now, imagine the level of planning that it took.
Yeah.
So from there, I took a page in your book, and started like actually, I feel like honestly, like working with you has helped make me the better creative that I am.
Man, that's dope to hear, bro.
Yeah.
That's dope to hear.
I appreciate that.
Love being able to be in environments where there's reciprocity.
Right.
And I'm not just talking about like financial or whatever. I think that's real economy is when I have a corn farm, you're a butcher, you know, other person makes quilts,
right.
The other person has this farm or that farm or does this or that. And we have genuine relationship, not based on what you can give,
right.
but your level of dedication to what it is that you do. I can't trust somebody that isn't building something.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you.
I think a lot of business people and movers and shakers in this world are that way too. I mean, a lot of creatives and entrepreneurs are looking for opportunities, but the people that can give you opportunities, the entities that can give you opportunities, aren't really looking to people that aren't building something. It could be something very small, but if you're not building something, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what direction you're trying to go in.
Yeah, it's that thing of, you know, in order for someone to believe in you, you have to believe in yourself first, you know, and truly push that. So, yeah, man, I don't think we've actually got into any other questions that I had written up. This has been good, bro.
I mean, we've had longer conversations.
We have. You know, and I think that's why it's natural, because we do this on a daily basis. Yeah. You know what I mean? We just talk. And so looking through everything that you've accomplished, everything that you've done, this could be funny. This could be whatever it is. Give us a story where it was like, oh, man, I made this big mistake. You know, now looking back at it, it is funny, and you could actually laugh at it.
Yeah. Outside of the tax stuff? Man. Bro, that felt so bad. I wish I need to make a movie out of that. We need to make a movie one of these days. We need to make, because I'm thinking, and this isn't the story, but I got to go back to that, because that was a big turning point for me.
Okay.
I'm walking in the CPA office like, I'm getting everything, you know, I'm just making sure everything cool, you know, brush up the fine edges. And that CPA pulled down my financial pants and whooped my behind. And this, you know, and I'm not saying I'm not old. I'm 32. But I really was a hothead. It's funny. It's funny now.
It's funny looking back at it.
But that was so necessary.
Yeah.
From an entrepreneurial standpoint, something funny. Collecting rent is always hilarious. It is always hilarious, man.
Yeah.
Okay, I have this one story. Oh my goodness. So this particular individual, this was a condo property. I bought a few properties.
On that note, I remember when I bought my first property. I don't know if I texted you or I called you.
You called me.
I called you.
Yeah.
I can't remember when I knew you were actually in the real estate space, but I've been around other people that are like, oh, they're renting from you, like friends that we, you know, that we have. And even though I've seen my parents buy a house, you know, I've seen my brother buy a house, you know, my brother's like 4 years older than me, but like someone my age, you know what I mean? That's why I called you. I'm like, okay, this is probably the guy that I should call to figure out all these questions that I have in my head, you know, as to which area I should go. So I remember calling you. I was in my parents' kitchen making that call.
That's dope. Man.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
But I don't like to say that I'm in the real estate space. The only reason why we created something for that is because I've gotten a lot of calls like that.
Yes.
And I think there's a lot of people that have a few properties or whatever, you know what I mean, and are renting and stuff like that. But a lot of people get in some bad situations, especially people our age.
Yeah.
Get into some bad situations because they watch something and they just think about all the people who bought Airbnbs and all that. They should have took Iguru course.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. But yeah. So collecting rent.
Yes.
So this was probably my second year into renting. So this condo that I had, I did not buy it as a real estate property. I brought it as a primary residence. Okay. And then I moved out. Mistake. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
You got to pay taxes on
Go to igurubrand.com. The real estate course is in there.
Yes.
So it's not something that you can really get backing for with legislation if you're not doing everything by the book. So I'm going to collect rent from this individual. And I've had several properties. So if you're looking at this and think I'm talking about you, I don't think these individuals, they live outside the country now. So I'm not talking about anybody that may be looking at this podcast.
For sure.
But this particular individual had not paid for like 2 months. And they had a baby. They had a baby in the house. And this is, we not in a recession or anything like that, but collecting rent is just hilarious.
Yeah.
So I have to go directly to the condo now. Like, that's not fun. You don't ever want to be in those positions, but this is a part of it too.
Right.
You have to get your money somehow.
Right.
People literally can homestead, y'all. Like this, it's not a game out here.
Yeah.
Especially since the pandemic.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yep.
So I go to the crib. I don't got nothing on me, if you know what I mean. I don't got nothing on me, man. And this individual, probably a good 6'11".
Wow.
6'11". So I'm like, hey man, like a knock on the door. Yeah, I get it. I've heard it all, but you know, gotta get my bread, man.
Yeah.
I glanced down to this dude's feet. This was when Yeezy just came out, yo.
Oh man,
Yeezy just came out, bro. When I tell you, every bit of me wanted to go directly to Cabela's. At that point in time, those things was fresh off the shelf, bro.
Oh man.
And he just looks at me like, ain't got it, bro.
That's the line too. I ain't got it.
hey, you know how people do that?
I ain't got it.
Like, that's literally what he did. His daughter's in and running around. Happy little kid.
Right.
She wasn't experiencing poverty.
She probably had some Yeezys too.
She wasn't experiencing poverty at all.
Yeah.
He says to me, it was more so like he was laughing in my face. Like, hey,
Yeah.
what I'm supposed to do, man? Got it. You can give me those shoes, bro.
Right.
That's what you can do.
Right.
Anyway, so
Oh man.
that's a funny one.
That's wild.
Oh, isn't it?
That's wild.
Oh, dude.
I'm sure that's even more of a thing now, obviously after 2020.
Oh, I know people.
I've heard stories.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know people that haven't got paid since 2020.
That's
for
wild.
certain properties.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why I didn't rent my other space out. I just sold it, bro. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
You know?
Get out of a situation, yeah.
Yeah. So, I get it, bro.
I don't know if there's like, you want advice for any entrepreneurs or people that are at this particular level of the game.
Yes, definitely. Let's give them some wisdom, you know.
That was your word, not mine.
Yeah.
I don't profess to have any wisdom or anything like
bro.
that. But I would encourage people to continue to look within and stop waiting on opportunities.
It's good.
That's something that I've seen has been so huge, especially for our generation.
Right.
Is even when you talk with people, oh, such and such is dope because they got a call, or they're with this person, or they're doing that, or they're doing this, or they're doing that, or what happens if such and such calls you? What happens if you call yourself?
Right.
What happens if you hold yourself accountable to how dope you can be?
It's good.
If I want to be the Quincy Jones of the 21st century, what happens if he calls me today and asks me to write a symphony for the Philharmonic Orchestra?
Right.
Am I ready?
Right. What are you doing with that gift?
What are you doing with that gift?
Yes.
And there is plenty to do with your gift.
There is a lot. Yes, sir.
There's plenty to do it. Dissect it to the lowest common denominator, I promise you, you will be working 60 to 90 hours a week.
Definitely. That's what it feels like. I feel like I'm constantly working because obviously, you know, I have a full-time job as well. And I mean, sometimes people, is that thing of, are you a full-time entrepreneur or, you know, are you a part-time? Is there such thing as a part-time entrepreneur? I don't know. Like, you know,
Are
obviously,
you a full-time entrepreneur?
I do know that.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Maybe not having a 9 to 5. I don't know. A lot of people use those words, so I'm not like.
So do they mean like you don't have a W-2?
Yeah.
Like, the internet, bro, is bad.
Right. But
get your algorithm together too, y'all. Like that's extremely important.
Yeah,
your
man.
algorithm is.
Yeah. And I think there's nothing wrong with people. And I think people battle with that. It's like it's either I have a 9 to 5 or I'm an entrepreneur. So it's like you could do both. You don't have to choose. Yeah. You could do both and be successful at both. You know what I mean? And it's just back to what you first said, managing your time properly.
Yeah.
You know, would help you being efficient.
Yeah, but you can't manage your time if you haven't budgeted your time.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like
totally.
you have to sit down and figure out what you're actually doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many times have you printed off your credit card statement and like looked at it like, what am I doing with my life?
Yep.
Like what is going on?
Yep.
I think that's what a lot of people tend to do with their time, especially people trying to figure out entrepreneurship and being a full-time employee and all this. Like, all of that is like a bunch of goulash and gibberish.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make sense of all that and just get to work.
Just do something.
Get to work.
Yeah. Just do something. Bro, appreciate it, man. This has been good. Has been good. I don't know. Is there anything else you'd like to leave us with? I don't know if I've asked you all the questions and all that.
No, just continue encouraging people to not limit themselves and be easy on yourself.
Yeah.
Quit judging yourself so hard.
That's
no
a good
one.
point.
No one really cares. We're not that
cares.
important, bro.
Yeah. No one cares.
Not that important.
Yes, sir. Hey, where can people find you?
You can go to igurubrand.com. There will be some new changes coming in 2024.
Yes, sir.
You also can go to Iguru Brand on Instagram. That'll probably have a lot more action on a daily basis in 2024. I am part-time with Church for the Nations. I'm there weekly. We do a lot of work there. Got a lot of stuff going on. We work together there.
Together, yes.
Church for the Nations, Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Those are the centralized points.
Yes, sir.
For now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, appreciate you, bro. Thanks.
Appreciate
for being
you,
here.
man.
Thank you for having this conversation. Hopefully, someone hears this and they take something out of it.
Hopefully they do, and if they don't, God bless them.
Yes. All right. So thank you guys for watching this episode of the Creative Dan Pod. We will see you on the next one.